George R.R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire series has captivated millions of readers worldwide with its intricate political plots, morally complex characters, and richly detailed world. It also spawned an insanely successful series, Game of Thrones, on HBO. However, with Martin's slow progress on completing the series after A Dance with Dragons, it now being 13 years since its release, fans are left speculating about how the story might conclude, especially since Martin now gets upset when people dare to ask him when the hell he's going to come out with The Winds of Winter.
Do you have an update on The Winds of Winter? People press me, when's it going to be done? And I make what I think is the best case estimate, and then stuff happens. Then everybody gets mad that I lied. I've never lied about these predictions. They're the best I can make. It's in progress. I'm working on it. I'm creeping forward.
And what better time to talk about this than right after George got trolled by author Larry Correia in the conclusion of Larry's Saga of the Forgotten Warrior, Heart of the Mountain. This is Marks on Media, and today I'm going to outline a potential ending that honors Martin's themes of moral ambiguity, power, and the devastating consequences of war, while addressing the myriad of unresolved character arcs and plot threads. Now, let's get into it.
Marks on Media.
One of the series' most striking elements is its subversion of traditional fantasy tropes, including the idea of prophecy. Characters such as Daenerys Targaryen, Jon Snow, and Bran Stark are tied to prophecies, yet Martin often emphasizes that prophecy is open to interpretation and potentially misleading. In the conclusion of the series, these prophecies could play out in unexpected ways. For example, Daenerys may finally reach Westeros only to find that her vision of being a savior queen is not welcomed by the war-weary people. Her conquest might mirror Aegon the Conqueror's, but the dragon's destructive power could alienate the very populace she seeks to rule. This would culminate in Daenerys facing a moral reckoning. Will she choose the fire and blood of her ancestors or embrace a more peaceful, though less glorious path? Jon Snow's role as the resurrected prince that was promised could also be more grounded than fantastical. Rather than defeating the White Walkers with a flaming sword, his leadership skills and ability to unite desperate factions, the Night's Watch, Wildlings, and Northern Lords, could prove to be his true strength. His ultimate sacrifice might be less about fulfilling a prophecy and more about securing a future for the living. Before we get into Chapter 2, though, George R.R. Martin may not be able to finish his book series, but you can start your very own. Are you all ready to unleash your inner author? Imagine being able to turn your wildest ideas into a bestseller in a flash, like with the speed of Satoru Gojo. Well, it's not just fantasy, it's a reality with Magic Book of Fire. This incredible AI tool is like having a writing coach, a research assistant, and a publishing expert all rolled into one. With Magic Book of Fire, you can create an entire book in no time, whether it's a novel, a guide, or some crazy idea like Hulk Hogan versus Godzilla. Yes, that's a real idea. The best part, you don't have to be a writer to use it. Just type in your idea and Magic Book of Fire will do the rest. It's like having a magic wand for your writing needs. So are you ready to unleash your creativity and write that book you've always dreamed of? Or maybe you want to create a fun guide to your favorite hobby, or even make some money selling an ebook online? Well, now is your chance. Magic Book of Fire is offering a special lifetime deal, which means you pay once and use it forever. No subscriptions, no extra costs. That's the deal of a lifetime. Don't miss out on this amazing opportunity. Click my special link down in the video description and make your book dreams come true. Trust me, you won't regret it. A Song of Ice and Fire is deeply concerned with the cost of power, and the battle for the Iron Throne is central to that theme. By the end of A Dance with Dragons, multiple factions are vying for control. Daenerys and her dragons, Stannis Baratheon in the north, the scheming Lannisters in King's Landing, and Aegon Targaryen, if his identity is genuine, that is. Rather than a clean resolution with a singular ruler ascending to the throne, the series could conclude with the Iron Throne itself being destroyed, either literally or symbolically, kind of like in the show. The power struggle over the throne has brought only misery to Westeros, and its destruction could signify the breaking of the feudal system. A decentralized form of governance, such as independent regional rule, might emerge as a more sustainable alternative. Characters like Sansa Stark and Tyrion Lannister, who understand the intricacies of politics, could play pivotal roles in reshaping Westeros' future. Again, somewhat like in the show, where Sansa is given total control of the North, not having to bow to whoever sits on the Iron Throne in King's Landing. Beyond the political intrigues, the existential threat of the White Walkers looms large over the series. The resolution of this threat would need to be both climactic and consistent with Martin's emphasis on human flaws. A united Westeros may be the only way to defeat the White Walkers, forcing characters who once sought power for personal gain to work together. Bran Stark, as the Three-Eyed Raven, could play a critical role in uncovering the White Walkers' origins and weaknesses. Perhaps the Walkers are not inherently evil, but driven by ancient grievances, and understanding their motives could offer a more non-violent solution to their invasion. This resolution would align with Martin's rejection of simplistic good versus evil narratives and still fit in with the grimdark genre that the series sits in. Alternatively, a Pyrrhic victory could see the living defeat the White Walkers, but at a devastating cost, such as the death of key characters like Jon Snow, Daenerys, and Arya Stark. This would leave Westeros in a fragile state, forcing survivors to rebuild from the ashes. Several key characters have unresolved arcs that need closure. Let's start with Sansa Stark. Sansa's journey from a naive girl to a shrewd political player suggests she could rise to power in the North, possibly as queen of an independent Winterfell. Again, much like in the show, her arc would symbolize the resilience of the Starks and the value of pragmatic leadership. As far as Arya Stark, her training with the Faceless Men has distanced her from her Stark identity, but her return to Westeros could see her grappling with vengeance versus redemption. Arya might play a pivotal role in assassinating a key antagonist, such as Cersei Lannister, but ultimately find peace in reclaiming her Stark roots. Moving on to Tyrion Lannister, his intelligence and wit have positioned him as a key player in the political landscape. His ultimate role could involve bridging a gap between Daenerys' ambition and the realities of ruling Westeros, perhaps serving as her hand of the queen. Yes, again, like the show. And finally, there's Cersei and Jaime Lannister. Cersei's descent into madness could culminate in her downfall, but Jaime's arc might see him fulfill the prophecy of the Valonqar by killing her to save others, thus completing his redemption. Jon Snow's survival in the Winds of Winter is one of the most speculated topics among fans, with multiple theories aligning with the series' themes of prophecy, magic, and the nature of life and death. The most likely scenario is that Melisandre uses her powers to resurrect Jon, as she views him as Azor Ahai reborn, sort of mirroring the show. Another possibility is Jon warging into Ghost, preserving his consciousness until his body can be revived, which would deepen his bond with the direwolf and potentially alter his humanity. Some believe that Jon could return as a Fire White, similar to Beric Dondarrion, with his resurrection highlighting the contrast between fire and ice while transforming his character into someone darker and more focused on defeating the White Walkers. The fire also aligns with the Targaryen blood that runs inside his veins. Alternatively, Bran Stark could intervene, using his green sight or connection to the Weirwood network to influence Jon's fate, emphasizing the interconnectedness of the Stark family. Jon may also fulfill the Azor Ahai prophecy with his death and return, symbolizing the sacrifice needed to unite Westeros against the White Walkers. Given George R.R. Martin's love to subvert expectations, an unexpected twist could see Jon's temporary death inspiring others to continue his mission, with his eventual return playing a critical role in the larger narrative. Whatever the method, Jon's survival and transformation will likely solidify his importance in the fight for Westeros' future. Despite its often grim tone, A Song of Ice and Fire contains moments of hope and resilience. The series' conclusion could emphasize the cyclical nature of history and the possibility of renewal. While the old systems of power may crumble, new leaders like Sansa, Tyrion, and Jon could lay the foundation for a better future. The children of Westeros, Bran, Arya, and even Daenerys' dragons represent the next generation unburdened by the mistakes of their predecessors. The final scenes could show the rebuilding of Winterfell, the regrowth of the Riverlands, and the return of spring to the north, symbolizing the end of the long night in more ways than one. The ending of A Song of Ice and Fire should honor George R.R. Martin's commitment to realism, complexity, and subversion of tropes. A bittersweet conclusion where victory comes at a great cost and power is decentralized would resonate with the series' themes. While the Iron Throne may no longer exist, the people of Westeros could find a way to build a more equitable society, ensuring the sacrifices of their heroes were not in vain. But I guess we'll see. Or maybe not. The speculative ending ties together the narrative threads left unresolved in A Dance with Dragons while remaining true to Martin's vision of a world where power corrupts but hope endures. Unfortunately, we're more than likely never getting an ending to this series, as he's nowhere near complete with The Winds of Winter, and then he's still got A Dream of Spring after that. He's most likely going to die, and the publisher will hire someone else to finish what George never could. He will forever be remembered as the writer who waited. Comment with your thoughts on all of this. How do you think the book should end? Do you agree with my takes? Why or why not? Let me know down in the comment section and join in the discussion. Also, please share this video around to everyone you know, and don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell to be notified every time I post brand new content. This is Marks on Media, and I'll see you next time.